political space in Nigeria. Nigerians, especially the young ones, are more interested not just in politics, but the process that leads to the emergence of their political leaders. Well, the just concluded general elections shows to us that Nigerians are active players in our politics. And prior to the elections, the campaign season was a movie. I mean, a movie that you could say you had 3 or 4 top characters. We had the Batified, Obedience, Articulate, and of course the Kwankwaso. I mean, I don't always get the pronunciation of that, so pardon me. But these 4 political parties and their fan base were amazing in their own ways. For the Obedience, they were about the lousiest. They were everywhere. I mean, they were going to talk down on just anybody that is not thinking the way they are thinking. And one would have thought that, wow, it looks like victory is going towards this direction. Because everybody, most people were scared to even talk or oppose their ideas. On the part of the Articulate, this looks more like the intelligent ones with a touch of violence, because sometimes they don't know what to say, other times they just want to come out, then the other times they just looks like they're not in the game. But funny enough, they came first runner-up, of course. And Kwankwaso, I think that is supposed to be the hero of this election, because this is one man that a lot of people had concluded that is just a northern candidate, and there's nothing that can really happen in that election that can be attributed to the Kwankwaso effect. But trust me, that victory in Kano State redefined what we were all used to. I mean, the K-states were just like every other state. But on the part of victory, the Jagaban himself, Bola, tinubu, the Batified were, what word can I use for the Batified? I think they were bullied. But some of them get praised too, because it was a battle of who praised fast at the end of the day. But the point is, it's not about the loudest. We have someone that won the election and 17 others lost in that election. But for these 4 top contenders, 1 won and 3 others lost the election. Why did they lost? What brought about the loss of these very prominent contenders? So today I will be talking to my guys here, but before we get too serious, how are you doing? Because I know you always want to say something.
Legendary Joe, yeah. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure having you, Adi. What a powerful introduction, but I'm not sure. Lousy Obedience, are you ready? Can you cope with the aftermath? The Lord is our strength.
Okay, hello.
Hi, I'm Fasakin, Busayo. Good to have you here. Powerful introduction. Good, amazing people around me, my co-panelists. All of you are looking amazing. I think it's a good time to discuss politics as name
of course, and I also have here
Dolapo, Ajijola. I think we should do this. This is high time we do this in our space, in our because you see on Twitter, you see on social media that people are interested in politics and governance. So I think we're on the right path to set our country in the right direction.
All right, this is the Citizens Show, and this is the show where we bring to you only verifiable information. I mean, the space has been polluted with too many information, misinformation, disinformation, and the likes. But we are doing this to bring the right information to you. But I also have with me this day the great of the greatest. Hello, great.
Hi, Ade, how you doing? How you guys doing in the studio? I'm glad to be joining in. My name is Abraham Great. It is working.
All right, I love that. It is working. And of course, like I would always say, Nigeria is going to be great again. And of course, it begins with all of us speaking our truth and speaking to the matters. It's high time that we stop the misinformation. I think campaigns are over, so we should do better. But not to waste your time, let's get into the conversations now. Kwankwaso lost in that election. Peter Obi lost in that election. Atiku lost in that election. If you will talk about their losses, let's talk about Atiku. What do you think about Atiku's loss?
I almost thought you forgot great. The whole great. You want to lock us out of the studio. I think I will start on a very sober note, I celebrate with our fellow compatriots just returning from Sudan, those escaping war, and after all the back and forth, I think some of them are finally here. I think we would take some lessons from situations like this because Nigerians could return home, Americans could return home, Europeans could return back to their home. Where will Sudanese go? So I think in the period of war, we will appreciate peace. And when you know the genesis of this thing, it started from a baseless protest, and it has erupted to something totally out of control. Now, that country is at the verge of collapse because of unguarded and uncontrolled and unreasonable, on protest, agitation, and what have you. The fellow who led that protest is out of the country. She won't be one of those that will be victims of war. Many will be displaced. Some will never see their parents. I think it's a lesson Nigerians must learn. And of course, it will seize the opportunity to also thank great Nigerians, the likes of Chief, or Mr. I don't know if he's a chief, Mr. Allen Oyema, who released his plane, made it available to bring back our brothers and sisters. And also, Alhaji Yaliko Dangote, I heard he gave them 100,000.
Yeah.
MTN Foundation, I'm aware they gave them free recharge card, just making them, easy to adjust back to the system. I think it's necessary we mention that. Now, back to the topic at hand. Many would easily say Atiku is the most experienced in this race. Come, somebody who had been contesting as far back as 92 with the likes of giants like Chief MK Abiola for presidency. So, no gainsaying, saying, look, he's the most experienced in the race. So it may have caught many by surprise, saying, how did he lose? It was almost his race, perhaps the most comfortable race for him, since he won't be running against a major northern candidate like General Muhammadu Buhari. However, there are three things I'll consider was responsible. One, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the Waziri Adamawa, swam against the tide. 2023 election, it appears that there was a general consensus that power must return to the South. You recall that within the ruling party, 13 out of 14 northern governors in the APC met and decided, in fact, no northerner should run in the race, which brought about some of them stepping down and leaving the race for southerners. Such also occurred in the PDP. I think you heard of the Asaba Convention, Asaba Declaration, whatever it's called, saying, look, it's the turn of the South. In fact, southerners, governors among them, were warned that, look, none of you should agree to be running mates to a northerner, whoever he is. It's similar to when Chief Obafemi Awolowo ran in 1979. Based on other reasons, northerners agreed. No northerner should agree to be his running mate. That was why he ended up running with Philip Bumiadi.
Yeah.
So he was running against the tide. Therefore, he became difficult. He became a difficult commodity to sell, even at home. Which explains why Asiwaju is southerner, one in Northwest, one in North Central, and did comfortably well in his home, Atiku's home, Northeast. Two, I would say Atiku did not have a sellable character. Let me reword it so that you understand better. His character was not bankable, was not pensionable. You will recall in 2015 when Jonathan was going to run for a second term. It's on record, at least Wiki told us, that look, Chief Jonathan almost knelt down, meeting Atiku in UK saying, please let me run. And Atiku insisted, Mr. Man, it's the turn of the North. Now, having done that to a sitting president at the time, it was now difficult for somebody like Atiku Abubakar to bank on the vote from the South. Aside the Obi wave, that also hurt him in that zone. These are zones that, on a good day, give PDP their maximum votes. So, eventually, the three was his inability, despite he called himself a unifier. I think he failed in truly unifying. When Abraham Lincoln ran, because his story is similar to Abraham Lincoln. In fact, in his interview, the only interview he gave to Arise, he said Abraham Lincoln ran severally. Abraham Lincoln ran 8 times, 2 of those presidents. But what Abraham Lincoln did that he failed to do was Abraham Lincoln united the Republican Party. Mr. Atiku divided PDP. And we know that it's simple common sense that a divided opposition would find it difficult to defeat a united incumbent.
Very strong point there. I must applaud your analysis. Very brilliant one there. But let's talk about Kwankwaso now. I want you to talk about Kwankwaso Busayo. Sorry. What exactly do you think were the factors, or did you see him losing from the beginning of the race?
Yeah, I think for Kwankwaso, he played a future game, so to speak. So it wasn't immediate. He was planning for the future. He's trying to become the new Buhari. The Buhari of today is retiring from politics. I haven't sat for 8 years. So they need another politician that has the organic followership, just like Buhari had. Buhari had that crazy followership with another Nigeria nobody ever witnessed. So he's trying to also test the waters as a serious northern candidate, right? So that is why I feel, and he used Kano as a case study to start with. That if I can gain the momentum from my home, then from there I can begin to launch my movement to the other parts of the northern region. So for me, and also he also used the platform to secure back the leadership of the states to himself. Sure, you understand?
That's
because
Kano State.
Yes, because he knows that for him to attain that national prominence, he needs the base of Kano, just like Asiwaju did. Asiwaju had the base of Lagos, then spread. So I think it was a strategy for him to gain national prominence using Kano as a base. So it wasn't for him to win the elections, so to speak, but to gain that prominence and say, I'm trying to build my political sagacity as against tomorrow when I'm going to run. So for me, that's what
It's played a long game.
Yeah. In addition to that, I think that Atiku is an experienced politician in Nigeria. This Kwankwaso, sorry, is an experienced politician in Nigeria. He was governor 2 times. Yes, 1999. Then he was a defense minister, right? And he became a senator. This man has wealth of experience in him. And you will see with his campaign that he was very conservative in his approach. The way he went about his campaign, the states that he went to, it was strategic. I
think he was speaker in attitude.
Yes, yeah. He was strategic with the way he went. He was campaigning at the same time, opening new campaign offices. You understand? So and the symbol, the cap, very beautiful. When you see that cap, the crowd and everything like that. So like Busayo said, I think he's a smart politician because he knows that after Asiwaju, if Asiwaju wins the next election, he has won this one if he wins the next election, because I'm sure that he may want to contest, So, and if he wins, it will be time for it to go back to, the north, like many will say. So